Good morning, students. Welcome back to microprocessor and microcontroller online class. In this video, I am going to discuss about the interrupts of 8051. As we know that 8051 is a microcontroller. It has been using for the many industrial and the real-time applications. When the 8051 has been using in various applications, it has to be interfaced with the various input-output devices. The point is very clear. It is to be noted that 8051 is a microcontroller. It has been using in wide variety of applications that may be industrial and the real-time applications. When it is using in the various applications, the microcontroller has to be interfaced with the input-output devices. So when it is interfaced with the input-output devices, it can serve the input-output devices in two ways. That means it is going to provide the function for those interfaced input-output device in two ways. One is polling method, another one is called interrupt method. So I am discussing what the interrupt and what is the need of the interrupt. I am explaining in this introduction part. The 8051 microcontroller can be interfaced with the several input-output devices to perform some applications or to accomplish some specific tasks. When the microcontroller is interfaced with the input-output devices, it has to give the service to those devices. So 8051 microcontroller can give the service to those input-output devices which are interfaced to the 8051 in two methods. One is polling method, another one is interrupt method. In a polling method, 8051 microcontroller keep on check whether any input-output device needed the service or not. So continuously it check the each and every input output device which are interfaced with the 8051 microcontroller, so that it comes to know whether any input output device is needed the service or not. If any input output devices found that they need the service from the 8051, then directly 8051 is going to stops the current execution and it saves that program, and so that it is going to serve that particular input output device. This process is called as polling process, but it is not preferable one, because every time the 8051 microcontroller keep on checks the each and every input output device to know whether any input output device needed the service or not. But in case of second method, that means the 8051 microcontroller can serve the input output devices in two methods. One is about in method polling, just now we discussed. Second one is about interrupt. In the interrupt method, the 8051 is going to get the signal, going to get the interrupt signal from the external devices or from the internal network, internal ports, so that it is going to stop the current execution and it saves that particular program, and after that it is going to serve that particular input in internal or external interrupt signal. In this interrupt method, whenever any device needs the service of a microcontroller, then that device sends a signal to the microcontroller, and receiving that interrupt signal, microcontroller saves the current process status and calls the ISR. ISR nothing but here interrupt status routine. That means what? It is going to service that particular interrupt. After completion of serving that interrupt signal or interrupt device, control will again come back to its main program, which is already saved somewhere. In general, interrupt method is preferable. We know that by comparing polling method and interrupt method. In general, interrupt method is preferable one over the polling method, because microcontroller is free from continuously checking of each and every device to know whether any device needed the service. So the microprocess will be free in the interrupt method because it is free from checking the status of each and every device. So in case of interrupt method, the devices which are interfaced with the 8051 get serviced only when they interrupt the microcontroller. Only microprocessor will provide the service to those input output devices which are interfaced with the 8051 when they interrupt the microcontroller. This is very, very important, so that the interrupt method is very preferable than the polling method. Anyway, this is not our topic. Our topic is about study the interrupts of 8051. So this is the thing it is I am going to explain now. The 8051 microcontroller have the 5 interrupt services. It is having the 5 interrupt services in which the 3 are belongings to internal interrupts and the 2 are belongings to external interrupts. So we know that in the architecture of 8051, we have studied that there are 2 external inputs are there. There are 2 external inputs, that is INTO and INT1, interrupt 0 and interrupt 1. These are 2 are active low signals. These 2 are active low signals, and this interrupt is from any input output devices which are interfaced externally to the 8051. This is also one interrupt signal, and which is from the one input output device which is interfaced with the 8051 microcontroller. Coming to here, these are the 2 external interrupts, and these are 3 are the internal interrupts. So we know that we are having the 2 timers in internal structure of the 8051, that is timer 0 and the timer 1. Whenever the timer 0 flag overflows, whenever the timer 0 flag overflows, then this timer is going to interrupt the 8051. Whenever timer 0 flag overflows, this timer 0 is going to give the interrupt to the 8051. And coming to the same with the TF1, that is whenever the timer 0 flag overflows, so that it will give the interrupt to the 8051, that is a microcontroller. So that what the 8051 microcontroller does, it is going to stop the current execution so that it saves that particular program, main program in somewhere, so that it is going to give the service to these timer interrupt signals. The last one is, it is also the internal interrupt. This is the interrupt signal from the serial input output port. We know that in internal architecture of 8051 we will be having the 2 timers and 1 serial input output port. Whenever data reception or the data transmission is completed, then then it is going to give the interrupt signal to the 8051. So that it is very clear that the 8051 is having the 5 interrupt services, in which 3 are internal and 2 are external. 2 are external, that is interrupt 0 and interrupt 1. And in the 3 internal interrupts, and 2 are from the overflow of the timer 0 flag and the timer 1 flag. Whenever the data reception and the transmission is completed, the serial port will give the interrupt to the 8051. This is about the 5 interrupt services of 8051. Then I am going with the addresses of that particular 5 interrupt services. So in the 5, how many are internal? 3 are internal. These are the 3 are the internal and the 2 are external. And 2 externals are what? It is INTO, that is interrupt 0 and interrupt 1. That means what? Here this is having the 3 interrupt, that is a timer 0 flag, timer 1 flag, that is it is a receiver interrupt or the transmitter interrupt. And these are the vector addresses. Then you may have the doubt is that what is the necessity of vector addresses? Whenever the 8051 is interrupted by the, for example, interrupted by the timer 0 interrupt signal, so that the program control stops the current execution, so that it is going to jump into the address that is 000BH, where it can fetch the instructions, so that it can execute those instructions. After executing those instructions, again the program control will come back to the main program. Here vector address is nothing but the address where the interrupt device instructions are resides. That means what? Whenever these interrupts detected by the 8051 microcontroller, so that the 8051 microcontroller is going to stop the current execution, such that the program control will jump into these particular addresses, where they can fetch the instructions to serve that particular input output device. So here this is the important thing about the vector addresses. So here this is a important thing about the vector addresses. Then I will be going with the another thing, that is interrupt enable registers. So from this table it is can be noted that whenever timer 0 flag, whenever timer 0 overflows, that's set to 1, so that it is going to stop the main program temporarily, and the program control will jump into the address that is 000BH. H is nothing but it is hexadecimal number. So it is assumed that we have the code, we have the program is at the address 000BH, that it is going to program control is going to execute those instructions so that it comes back to the main program. So this is the necessity of vector addresses. Then I am going with the another important thing, that is called interrupt enable register. So that means what? Here this interrupt enable register can enable or disable. This is a register with the 8 bits, that is B0 to B7. Interrupt enable register, in short we can represent with the IE. So each bit, it is a 8-bit register, so that each bit you can represent with I0, and the last one is about IE7. I interrupt enable 0 bit and interrupt enable first 1 bit, and last one is interrupt enable 7th bit. Here this register can be used, to enable or disable all the 5 interrupts simultaneously and individually. At a time we can enable, or at a time we can disable by we can enable or disable all the 5 interrupts by making use of this register. What this register? This register name is interrupt enable register, that is having the 8 bits, in which 5 bits are used to enable or disable the 5 interrupt services. So we can enable or disable all the 5 interrupt at a time, or we can enable or disable the individual interrupts individually. The format of the interrupt enable register is this one, and it is a bit addressable. That means what? We are going to enable or disable the bit wise only, so that it is called, it is a bit addressable labeled register. So that this is a EX0. EX stands for, this is a external input, that is external input. EX0 means that is interrupt 0, it is external one. Next one is here external one. EX1 is nothing but it is a external input is 1. Next one, it is about, it is a timer 0 interrupt. It is a timer 1 interrupt. Timer 0 interrupt, and this is timer 0 interrupt, and this is a timer 1 interrupt. And next one, it is an interrupt of the serial port. So that total 5 is completed, and this interrupt is not been using by the 8051 microcontroller. And this enable all by setting a software, by setting a program. If we set this to 1, all the interrupts can be set to 1 only. If we enable this interrupt, if we set this enable all bit, that is a B7 bit, if we program this to set to 1, then all the interrupts will be set to 1 only. If these is set to 0, all will set to 0. So that means what? Enable all can be set, or can be enabled by the set, or can be disabled by the 0 reset. This is by a software. Coming to here we will be having the one important thing, that is what? It is external interrupt 0. That is what? Interrupt 0. It is a external one. So that this can be enabled or disabled by a software. This belongs to which interrupt? It is an external interrupt, that is interrupt 0. It can be enabled or disabled by a software. And coming to the next one, it is a interrupt. It is a interrupt from the timer 0. It can be enabled or disabled. It is a enable T0 interrupt by the software. It can be enabled or disabled. Enable means 1, disable means 0. Second one is about, it is a external interrupt one, that is interrupt 1. It is active low signal. This can be enabled or disabled by a software. Enable means 1 and disable means 0. Coming to this one, it is the interrupt from the timer 1. We know that it is having the 2 timers, timer 0 and the timer 1, and it can be enabled. It can enable the timer 1 interrupt by a software. Enable means 1, disable means 0. And the last one is what? It is a serial port. It can be enabled the serial port by the software. Enable means 1 and the disable means 0. And anyway, this is not been using by the 8051 microcontroller. This is about the interrupt enable register. Now I am going to talk about the interrupt priority register. Interrupt priority register, which can be denoted with IP, interrupt priority register. Then what is the necessity of interrupt priority register? Because by enabling this one, we are saying that all the interrupts are going to enable. All the interrupts are going to enable. If we program to have enable all to set 1, so that all the interrupts are going to set to 1. That means all interrupts will be enabled. In such cases, 8051 is going to check their priority levels. By finding which interrupt is having the more priority, then it is going to serve that particular interrupt with the more priority. The interrupt which is having the more priority than all the remaining 4 interrupts can be served first. That priority will be decided by the register that is called interrupt priority register, that is IP. And it is a 8-bit register, so that we can have it is IP0 to IP7 bits. They will have the IP0 to IP7. So that this interrupt priority register is used to set the priority of interrupts as the highest or lowest. It is also bit addressable because 8 bits can be enabled or disabled individually, so that it is called bit addressable, that is IP0 to IP7. Each interrupt source, we have the 5 interrupt sources, so that from the 5 interrupt sources, each can also be individually programmed to one of 2 priority levels by setting or clearing as highest and lowest. A lowest priority interrupt can itself be interrupted by the higher priority, because the higher priority interrupt, it is not going to allow the interrupt which is having the low priority to serve first. So that here the point is very clearly noted that a low priority interrupt can itself be interrupted by the high priority interrupt, but not by another low priority interrupt. So that this is very key point to be noted. And the next one, if the 2 requests of 2 different priority levels are received simultaneously, we know that the highest priority which is having that interrupt can be served first. If 2 requests are having the same priority, this is very important. If the 2 priorities are having the two interrupts are having the same priority, at such cases the same priority are received simultaneously. At such cases, an alternating polling sequence determines which request has to be serviced first. So that in this case, the alternate polling sequence determines which interrupt has to be serviced first, and that will be whenever the 2 interrupts are with the same priority, we will go for the alternating polling method to find which interrupt has to be serviced first. So that then I am going to talk about the another important thing, that is called interrupt priority register. Here this is a interrupt priority register IP0 to IP7. How many interrupts we have? We have the 5 external 5 interrupt sources are there. That interrupt sources, 3 are from the internal and 2 are from the external. Externals are interrupt 0 and interrupt 1s, interrupt 0 and interrupt 1s. And the next one, 3 are internally. We will be having the 1 interrupt from the overflow of the timer 0 and 1 interrupt from the overflow of the timer 1. And the next internal interrupt is from the serial port. So that we will be having the 5. This is what it is. External interrupt 0, this is external interrupt 1, and it is a timer 0 overflow interrupt, timer 1 overflow interrupt, and it is what? It is a serial port interrupt. And anyway, we are not been using this priority interrupt in priority of timer 2 interrupt, so that this has been not using by the 8051 microcontroller. So here this is what it is. It is the priority of interrupt 0. So it can be set to 1 whenever we need to give the higher priority to this one, so that it will be set to 0 whenever it is having the lower priority. So that means what? If it is set to 1 means it is having the higher priority. If it is set to 0, it will be having the lower priority. And these can be set by a software. This can be programmed, or these can be set or reset by the programmed by the software. And again here also this priority is for which interrupt? It is a timer 0 overflow interrupt, so that priority of T0 interrupt can be set to higher priority when it is set to 1, and it is when it's set to 0 it will be the reset to 0, and it is a lower priority. Similarly, this is about the external interrupt IT interrupt 1. It is a active low signal. Whenever it is having the high priority, it can be programmed to set. Whenever it is having the low priority, it can reset to 0. And similar to this one, it is a timer 1, and this is a from the serial port interrupt signal. So here priority of the serial port interrupt, this is what it is, a priority of the serial port input, and this is the priority of the timer interrupt, and this is the priority of external interrupt signal. This is the priority of external interrupt 0 signal, and this is the priority of timer 0. So that these can be what it is, all these are the bit addressable, all these are the bit addressable, so that single bit can be set to 1 or reset to 0. That means what? 1 means which is having the higher priority, and the 0 means which is having the lower priority. And this table explains us the highest priority will be given to which interrupt among all these. This means what? For example 8051 is there. 8051, internally it is having the 3 interrupts, and externally it is having the 2 interrupts. All the interrupt signals are enabled at a time. All the interrupt signals are enabled at a time. In such cases, in which the interrupt 0 will have the highest priority, interrupt 0 will be having the highest priority, so that the interrupt 0 will be served first. After serving that one, it is going for the next level, next highest interrupt signal, that is with the timer 0. So that after serving the interrupt 0, it will serve the timer 0 interrupt. After that it serves the interrupt 1, and after that it serves the timer 1 interrupt, the least priority which is assigned to the serial port, so that it will be served last. This is about the interrupts of the 8051 microcontroller. And 8051 microcontroller, in the 4th unit, only 3 topics are very important. One is interrupts, second one is timers or counters, you can call timers, and counters you can call, and the last one is a serial data port, serial port communication or serial data port communication. These things are very, very important, and this is completed now. While you are preparing for the external exams, you should start with the syllabus is the unit 3. After that you must go with the unit 4. After that you must go with the unit 5. Then you should come back to the unit 1. After that you should go with the unit 2. This is very, very important, because all these 3 units are very simple. Then you can easily score the maximum marks from this unit, so that student don't waste the time, and be alert for the examinations. And the exams are approaching very soon, so that to make use the time effectively, such that learn each and every subject clearly. Try to write the notes from the videos which are shared by the faculty, and keep learning the electronics. Thank you, students.